Welcome back to another class on the Treasures of Mishnayot. We are in Mishnayot of Berachot, Perek Vav Mishna Daled. This will be part one of the Shi'ur. Today we want to see the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, and in the following class we're going to see the opinion of the Chachamim. What we're going to deal with today is, a lot of times you come to a person's house or even in your own house and you are served many fruits. Apple, oranges, banana, pomegranates, olive, dates, cookies. What do you bless on first? Right? A lot of us will just take anything and we'll bless. As we'll see in the following class, there is a machloket between Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim. Today we want to see what the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda is, and in the following class we'll see what the opinion of the Chachamim is. But today we're going to see what happens if a person has many types of food in front of him and he wants to eat from all of them. And what is he going to start blessing first? So we're going to try to go over this, and then we're going to have to go see that there's another pshat in understanding the verse, as I'll show it to you. We'll also have to be able to see this, because there's certain berachot that override all the other berachot. As we go along, I will explain it. Okay, so the Mishnah in Perek Vav Mishna Dal begins. I'm in the Kahati. So the Kahati just says a small introduction. He says, Mishnah zo ba lelamed din kedima beberachot hanehenen. This Mishnah comes to teach us the laws. Which bracha precedes the other when it comes to blessings which we enjoy from, like food. So the Mishnah begins, Hayu lefanav minim harbe. If a person had in front of him many types of food. So the Kahati explains, Mi shehigishol lefanav harbe minim ma'achalim. If they brought in front of a person many types of food, vehu rotzeh lechol mikulam, and he wants to eat from all of them. Right, that's what we wrote over here. A person was served many types of foods in front of him, and he wants to eat from all of them. Which one of them is going to proceed in the blessing? What are you going to bless first? Are you going to say Hadama first? Are you going to say Ha'etz first? Are you going to first bless on barley, on grapes, on olive, on apple? What are you going to bless on first? This is what we want to see. Rabbi Yehuda says, Im yesh b'nehem mimin shiv'ah. Here we go. According to Rabbi Yehuda, if you're going to have amongst those fruits that was served to you one of the 7 types of food, then he's going to say you're going to bless first on the 7 types of food which the land of Israel was blessed with. Let me just tell you over here, if you have among them, again, you have to remember, right now you were served, let's say apple, bananas, watermelon, melon, pineapple. Now you want to eat all of them, but at the same time you were also served a grape. According to Rabbi Yehuda is going to tell you, since you have over there min shiva is called, since you have over there a type of food which comes from the 7 species which the land of Israel was blessed with, according to Rabbi Yehuda is going to tell you, you first have to go ahead and you have to bless on the grapes before you are able to bless on anything else. Alright, so that's what we say over here. If you have among them the 7 species, meaning one of the 7 species that the land of Israel was blessed with, which is what? The first one is wheat, second one barley, third one grapes, fourth one fig, fifth one pomegranate, sixth one olive, seventh one dates. So if a person right now is sitting and they brought in front of him, let's just say, just to simplify the matter, you would brought in front of you an apple, and let's say an olive, or a grape, or a fig, or a pomegranate, or cookie that's made out of barley, or wheat, doesn't matter. Now, you want to eat both of them. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you have to proceed with one of the 7 species. You have to go ahead and say the bracha. Let's say you had in front of you had a banana and a date. you're first going to bless on the dates, Berei Priya 8, and then you're going to bless on the banana Ha'adama. This is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. So he said like this, Im yesh beinehem mimin shiva. If you had from what was served to you from one of the 7 species, so the Kahati explains, Echad mishivat aminim shenishtabacha behem Eretz Yisrael, one of the 7 species that the land of Israel was praised with. Vehem, and they are chita. Alright, so let's do this. The first one is chita, wheat. Useora, barley. Gefen, grapes. Veteina, figs. Verimon, pomegranate. Zeitim, olive. Vetamarim, dates. Now, I'll tell you something nice. I learned with, Baruch Hashem, Chavruta. His name is Ronan Davidov. We learn in the morning, we learn at night. And I always had a problem. How do you remember? Because I'll tell you like this. A fig is te'ena. Dates are temarim. So, because whenever we learn, sometimes you forget what's the te'ena, what's the temarim. So he told me how to actually remember that temarim is dates. How? So he said, just imagine you wanted to go out with a girl by the name of Tamara. So it's as if you're going on a date. Right? So that stuck with me, yeah? So that's what, Rabotai, whenever you see temarim, because since it resembles the name Tamara, therefore you could imagine it's going on a date. So therefore, temarim or dates, it leaves us that when it says te'ina, it means fig. Okay. So Rabbi Yehuda says, you're going to bless mivarech alav. You're going to go ahead, you're going to bless on it. Shishivat aminim shenishtabacha behem Eretz Yisrael kudumim libracha. You're going to go ahead and you're going to bless on one of the 7 species because that is because the 7 species that the land of Israel was blessed with, so they're going to be first when it comes to blessing on them. All right, so let's just do this one more time. Rabbi Yehuda says, Im yesh b'nehem mimin shiva, if you have from what was served to you from one of the 7 species, mevarech alav, you're going to bless on them. You're going to bless on it first. Why? Shishivat aminim, because the 7 species, shenishtabacha behem Eretz Yisrael kodumim lebracha. Because the 7 species where the land of Israel was blessed with them, they always precede in the bracha. All right, so whatever you're going to have from one of these 7, and if you're going to have something else which is not one of the 7, you're always going to go ahead and you're going to begin with the 7 species. Since Eretz Yisrael was blessed with it, that's why we give it that honor. Now, he says like this. Now, again, up to now, so point number 1 we saw, if you had apple, banana, watermelon, melon, pineapple, and you had one of them, not all of them, one of them, let's say a grape was also amongst them, we're telling you, you're going to first bless on the grape, and then you're going to go bless hadam or whatever it is on the other food that you're going to eat. However, comes the Kahati and he says, V'im yesh lefanav achadim mishivat aminim. Amru kalal b'gemor. What happens if you have some of them? What happens if you have some from the 7 types? There's a rule that is stated in the Gemara, which we're going to see right now. But what is the Kahati saying now? What happens if I have in front of me right now apple, banana, watermelon, melon, let's say pineapple, but at the same time I have in front of me grapes, fig, dates, olive, pomegranate. I have also others. So now I don't only have, other species where the land of Israel was not blessed with, but I also have the 7 species, but it's not only one type, it's a few of them. Let's just go for argument's sake. You had in front of you grapes, figs, and dates, and you had apples, bananas, pomegranate, and watermelon, melon, and so on and so forth. So now, in the seven species, there is also an argument in what goes first. So when I have other types of fruits, and then I have one of the 7 species there, simple. You bless on the one from the 7 species. But what happens now when I have the other fruits, and I have 2 or 3 of the fruits from the 7 species, what am I going to bless on first? For example, if I have a grape, fig, and dates, What am I blessing on first? All right? So that's why we're gonna conclude with over to here. So now this is simple. If a person had apple, banana, pineapple, watermelon, melon, no problem. And you had amongst them one of them, say grapes. Bless first on these seven. Bless first on one of the seven that was there. But now we're going to move on to a new concept. What happens if I have, with the other fruits, different types of the 7 grains? Let's say 7 species. I have grapes, figs, and dates. Or I have pomegranate, olives, and barley. I say cookie made out of barley. What's going to be? So he says like this. And if you have in front of you some of the fruits which are from the 7 species, Amru Klal b'Gemara, they said a rule in the Gemara. Kol mugdam b'pasuk, anything which precedes in the pasuk, we're going to see it's mugdam in the bracha. You're going to proceed with it in the bracha. Now what is the pasuk? Rabbota, I want to show you something over here. The pasuk goes like this. How do you know on what do you have to bless first when you're dealing with the 7 species? So the pasuk says, Eretz chita useora v'gefen v'te'ena v'rimon eretz zayit shemen udvash. Let me explain. Eretz chita, the land of wheat. That's what Eretz was blessed with. Eretz seora, the land of barley. Eretz gefen, the land of grapes. Eretz te'ena, the land of figs. Eretz rimon, the land of pomegranate. And then over here, pay close attention, Eretz zayit shemen. Over here we're going on olive, the land of olives. Eretz devash, when it says the land of honey, is referring to tamarim, it's referring to dates. Now if you pay close attention, I have over here Eretz, the first land, and then I also have over here Eretz, the second land. You'll see it plays a very big role in how to learn this pasuk. So he says like this. Kol mugdam b'pasuk zeh. Anything which precedes in this pasuk, so he's going to tell us. Eretz chita useora v'geven v'teina v'rimon eretz zayit shemen dvash. Dvash hayinu tamarim. Mugdam libracha. You're going to go ahead and you're going to bless the blessing first. Which means to say like this. Let's say I had in front of me, let me write it down. Let me just erase this for now, it's not a problem. Let's just say I had in front of me apples, oranges, grapes, dates, and olives. What are you going to bless first? According to Rabbi Yehuda is going to tell like this. For sure we have to go on the 7, we're going to go on the 7 species. The question is, what am I blessing on first? So now he says, go to the pasuk. Whatever the order of the verse is, that's how you're going to say the bracha. So let's see. So I have to go and I have to find what's first in the order. So basically this over here in Hebrew, this is over here in English. So if I have apples, oranges, grapes, dates, and olives, I'm going to look which number is grapes. I see grapes is number 3. Which number is dates? Dates is number 7. Which number is olives? Olives is number 6. So when I have in front of me apples, oranges, grapes, and dates, and olives, what am I going to say ha'etz on? I'm going to say ha'etz on grapes. Why? Because grapes, they preceded in the verse. Eretz chita usora vegefen. This is grapes. This is the gefen. Since this preceded the temarim, also grapes, the grapes, they preceded the olives. We see it's first. We go in the order. Since that is the order, you're first going to go ahead and bless on the grapes. This is all, Rabotai, according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. So one more time. In the first point, we saw what happens if I have in front of me apple, oranges, and grapes alone, let's say. What am I blessing on first? That's simple. You go after one of the 7 species that the land of Israel was blessed with, no problem, you bless on grapes. What happens if I have in front of me apple, oranges, grapes, dates, and olives? Oh, I have a few of the 7 species over here. No problem, you go in the order. grapes preceded dates and also preceded olives, so you're going to bless on the grapes. What happens if, let's say, grapes are not here? I have apple, oranges, dates, and olives. Same concept. You can look, dates is number 7. Olives is number 6. So you're first going to go ahead and bless on olives before you're going to bless. That's it. You're first going to bless on olives, and that's it. And then if you have hadama, you bless a hadama on the other fruit. Okay. So that's what he says over here. Eretz chita v'sora v'geven v'teina v'rimon eretz zayit shem v'dvash dvash and tomarim mukdam lebracha. Right? Whichever the way the order is, that's how you're going to go ahead and you're going to say the berachot. So he explains שהפסוק בא לשבח את ארצו שיש בה הפירות החשובים האלה. He says because the pasuk comes to praise the land of Israel, which has these important fruits. ומנם כסדר חשיבותם. He brings it in the opinion of Rashi. And they numbered it in the order of their importance. So we see over here that really wheat is more important than barley and everything else. Barley is more important than grapes and everything else. Grapes is more important than figs and everything else. Right? That's how we're going to go. That's why it was enumerated in this fashion to show you what has more importance than the other. All right. That's why when it comes to this situation over here, what am I blessing on? I'm blessing on grapes. Why? Because grapes was given more importance than olive and dates. Okay. Ve'od amru, and furthermore they said, Kol hasamuk letevet eretz hashniya eretz zayit shem dvash chashuv yoter mehamuchar mimen letevet eretz rishona eretz chita useora. All right, let me try to explain to you this. Rabotai, watch this. I explained to you before that we have over here first eretz, and then you have a second eretz. Why do we have two eretz? Why do you have to say the land of the land, right? Look, you tell me the land of wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranate, olives, dates. Why do you have to tell me the land of olives and the land of... Why do you have to tell me again the land? Didn't you write the one time already land? Why do you have to repeat yourself and write the land again? So comes the Kati, and the Kati is explained to us. They said, furthermore, the Chachamim, that this eretz over here, where it says eretz zayit shem, meaning the land of olives, it's more important than, we're going to see, than the what's later after this eretz. I'll show you what I mean. Umikan seder chashivutan hu. So now we're going to see like this. So watch this, Rabotai. I'll put it to you like this. If I want to ask you right now, what's more, okay. All right, let me just try to clarify this. Whatever is written by this eretz is more important than whatever written in this eretz. I'll give you an example. If this is eretz chita, this is 1. This is zayit shem, right? This is olive, this is 1. Eretz sora, this is 2. Eretz udvash min tamarim, this is 2. Now, eretz v'gefen, this is 3. Now, what's going to end up happening is we're going to rearrange the whole order. Before we were learning it, that it goes wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranate, olives, dates. But now, since we're telling you that since it said eretz a second time, this is going to take position number 2. I'll show you right now. So, eretz chita is the first one. Eretz zayit shemen is the second one. Eretz seora is the third one. Eretz dvash, that means the tamarim, is the fourth one. And so on and so forth. Whatever is here preceded whatever is later in the eretz over here. So let me show you. All right, let's see this. Okay, watch this. Before we had said, look how it changed automatically. Before we said chitim seorim, right? Before we had, let me see the pasuk, chita seora gefen. Before we had chita seora gefen. We'll see it over here, Rabotai. Chitim, Seurim, or Gefen, Anavim. But look at how everything changes. We're going to see that the order actually changes. Once the order changes, then you're going to have to go according to this order on what you're going to bless first when it comes to the 7 species. So watch this, Rabotai. So we're going to see right now, he's going to tell you, like I explained to you, since I have errors 2 times, right? We have errors, the first one and the second one. Automatically, they're both important. So he's going to tell you the first species, the first one is going to be chitim, wheat. Second one is going to be olives, not barley. Third one is going to be barley. However, we're going to see, some are going to tell you, no, you have to really learn chitim, seurim. Why should they be together? Because borei minim mizonot takes precedence over borei pri ha'etz and borei pri adama. So that's what we're going to say, chitim, seurim, zeitim. Okay, Rabotai, there's a machloket on how to learn the order. So he says like this, Umikan seder chashivutan hu. From here, once that we know, all right, let me do this. Now that we know over here that the second eretz is coming to teach me that these are also important and they come prior to Gevin v'te'ina v'rimon, we have to change the order. It's no longer going to be wheat, barley, grapes, figs. It's not going to be, we're going to change the whole order around right now. So what's going to be the order? So he says like this. Chitim, zeitim, seurim. The order is going to be wheat, olives, and then seurim, and then barley. That means if you had in front of you a cookie made from wheat, and you had in front of you an olive, and you had in front of you a grape or an apple, what are you going to bless first? You're going to go out and you're going to bless first on the wheat product, on the cookie. If you had in front of you olive, and you had in front of you a cookie made out of barley, you're going to bless on the olive. Why? Because that takes precedence in the pasuk. What's more important comes first. Okay. So he says over here, however, you have that some go and they tell you that you should put the seurim before the zeitim when it comes to the bracha. Why? You should say like this, chitim, seurim, zeitim. Why is that? Why? She says, because really, birkat borei minim mizanot kodemet lebirkat haperot. Because the blessing of borei minim mizanot always takes precedence over borei pri ha'etz or borei pri ha'adama. If you have in front of you right now a cookie, and you have in front of you a grape, even though they're both from the 7 species that the land of Eretz Yisrael was blessed with, you're going to have to say borei minim mizanot. Why borei minim mizanot? Because it takes precedence. Because borei minim mizanot, it's first. It overrides borei pri ha'etz and borei pri adama. However, he says birkat hamotzi lechem min haaretz, but the blessing of hamotzi lechem min haaretz goes before everything. So if you have bread in front of you and you have a grape in front of you, you're going to go after, and you want both of them, you're going to have to first wash your hands because hamotzi lechem min haaretz overrides borei minim mizanot and borei pri ha'etz and borei pri adama. So he says like this. Let me read it one more time. Because always the blessing of borei minim mizanot precedes the blessing of the borei pri ha'etz and borei pri adama. And birkat hamotzi precedes borei minim mizanot and borei pri adama and borei pri ha'etz. Now, so whichever way you want to learn, let's just go with this version because it makes more sense. So how are we going to change the verse now? So we're going to say like this. Chitim, seurim, zeitim, wheat, barley, olives. Now he says you're going to have, the next one is temarim. Remember tamara? Dates. Anavim, grapes. Now, so he says over here, if you're eating grapes the way they are, then we're going to tell you that is the order. Then we're going to tell you that this is the order. Chitim, seurim, zeitim, temarim, anavim. However, he says, aval yain shenasem me'anavim. But what happens if you made wine from grapes? So it says, since wine has its own established blessing, which is Uberkat Berei Perek Yefin, the blessing of Berei Perek Yefin, it's more important even than olives. Rabotai, pay close attention. We said over here, chitim, seorim, zeitim, temarim, anavim. So if I had in front of me, excuse me, one sorry. So we said over here, chitim, seurim, zeitim, temarim, anavim. So if I had in front of me right now, let's say an olive and a grape, what am I blessing on first? We're going to go according to the order. You're going to first bless on the olive. Comes the Kahati and he tells you, 1 second. That's good if you're eating real grapes. But what happens if you like if you're drinking wine where wine is made from grapes, what is the bracha for wine? It's not Berei Perek, it's Berei Perek Yefin. It has its own blessing. So it comes out that the Berei Perek Yefin is more important than olives, which means to say that if a person has in front of him right now wine and olives, what are you going to bless on first? You're first going to bless on wine. Remember, Rabotai, first comes mizonot. Okay, let's do like this. First is hamotzi, then mizonot, then Berei Perek Yefin, then Berei Perek Eitz. Okay, that's what he's trying to tell us over here, that if this anavim over here is going to be real wine, this is not the order. Automatically, the blood of Berei Perek Yefin, it overrides the zeitim, the olives, and you're going to first have to say the blessing on the wine, and only then can you say Berei Perek Eitz on the olives. Okay. Now he concludes and he says, then we have te'enim rimonim. So let's do this one more time. After we had changed the order, it's going to be like this. Wheat, barley, olives. Dates, real grapes. Figs, pomegranate. That means if a person has in front of him right now a pomegranate and a date, what are you blessing on first? You're blessing first on dates. If you have in front of you grapes and olives, grapes, and so on and so forth. So the order is going to be like this. Chitim, seurim, zeitim, temarim, anavim, te'enim, rimonim. Wheat, barley, olives, dates, grapes, figs, and pomegranate. I want to show you something. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. You know something? Let's do like this. I want to see something. Let me use this black marker. I want to show you something. All right, so let's say wheat, barley, stays. Let's do like this. Let's write over here. Wheat, barley, stays, right? Then we said, and the third place, what takes over here? Olive takes over here. 1 second. Right after olives, what do we have? Dates and, dates and grapes. After that we have dates. Then we have grapes. Then we have figs and pomegranate. All right, so look how everything changed, Rabotai. What initially was wheat, barley, grapes, figs, now grapes automatically takes 5th place. Figs, they take 6th place. Right? Olives, they move up to the 3rd. Dates, they move up to the 4th. So you see, Rabotai, so that's how it's going to be the real order now. This is going to be the order. Wheat, barley, olive, dates, grapes, figs, and pomegranate. So let's go back, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, let's say it like this. According to Rabbi Yehuda, Rabotai, with this we're going to conclude. All this is according to Rabbi Yehuda, but Nether, we'll see the opinion of the Chachamim tomorrow in the following class. But right now, let's just conclude this. According to Rabbi Yehuda, if a person was served different types of fruits, different types of food, like say cookies, banana, apple, grapes, what do you bless on first? If from amongst them you had one of the 7 types of fruits, like a grape, you're first going to bless on the grape. Now, what happens if you have, when you were served, you not only have regular fruits, but you also have a few of them which are made from the 7 type, which are from the 7 species that the land of Eretz Yisrael was blessed with? What are you going to do? Now you have to look into the chart. So let's say you were given right now olives, grapes, and pomegranate with apple, banana, and watermelon, whatever it was. What are you going to bless on first? You're going to first bless on olives. You're going to say ha'etz and olives, that's it. And then you're going to go and you're going to say hadam on the banana or the watermelon, whatever it is. But this would be the order. So Rabotai, with this we're going to conclude Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. And Bezrat Hashem in the following class, we'll see what the Chachamim hold. Because actually the Chachamim are going to tell you, when a person has in front of him olives, dates, figs, apples, pomegranate, watermelon, melon, banana, whatever you have in front of you, the Chachamim are going to tell you, Mevarech al eze mehem shir, to bless on whichever one you want. Okay, Rabotai, that we'll have to see in the following class. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam.